We're now going to add these unlike fractions, add and subtract unlike fractions, which means we need a common denominator. And if you look at the numbers 18, 15, 30, the first method that we've used, which is listing the multiples of each number, it doesn't seem practical. If it's just 15 and 30, it might work, but if 18 is involved, it's going to be a long list. So let's not do the first method. Let's try the second method, which is the prime factorization method. The name suggests break down the number into prime factors. So that's exactly what we're doing. 9 times 2. 3 times 3 is 9 times 2. So that is 2 to the 1 times 3 squared. So if the numbers are complicated, this would probably be the best method. Even division of primes can get a little long and tedious. So 3 to the 1 times 5 to the 1. And 30 is 2 times 5 is 10. And 10 times 3 is 30. So 2 to the 1, 5 to the 1, 3 to the 1. So in each number, there is a 3. And 2 of the numbers have 5s, but no matter what it is, just look at all the 2s. The highest 2 that you see is a 2 to the 1 times, look for 3s. There's a 3 here, a 3 here, and a 3 here. The largest of those 3s is a 3 squared times, if you look at all the 5s, there's only a 5 to the 1, so that would be the largest. So this number, which is 2 times 9 times 5, is the LCM. So 2 times 9, which is 3 times 3, times 5 is the LCM. And what's the LCM? 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 3 is 9, so it's a 90. Now, let's get back to the addition of fractions, and that's the reason why we did this, that is, found the LCM. So 18 has to be multiplied with something. We need to figure this out in order to get a 90. So that's the reason why I've broken down this number completely. So 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 is a 90. So let's look for 18. 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18. What's the only number left? So 18 times 5 is a 90. So you multiply the numerator and denominator by a 5. Do you see that we are not doing any long division? We are using the factored form of the number to figure out the details. To answer this question, 18 times what is 90 is not easy, but if the number 90 is factored, it's easy to figure that out. Plus 4 over 15. Now 15 has to be multiplied with some number to get a 90. So let's look at 90 again. 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. That's equal to a 90. 5 times 3 is 15. And 3 times 2 is 6. So 15 times 6 is equal to 90. So we multiply the numerator and denominator by 6 minus. Now, let's write this down again. This one is easy, but I'm going to just write it down again. Times 5. So now the question is 30 times what is 90? You could do this in your head, but let's just figure this out. 30. Let's first make a 30. 5 times 3 is 15. So these two are taken. 15 times 2 is a 30. The only thing that is left behind is the 3. So 15 times 2, 30 times 3 is a 90. So we just multiply with the 3. We don't even have to check if that is the case. 18 times 5 has to be 90 because we use the factored form of 90. So 7 times 5 is 35 divided by 90. We know it's 90 for sure. 6 times 4 is 24 divided by 90 minus 17 times 3. 7 3s are 21. 3 1s are 3. So that's 51 divided by 90. Now we have a common denominator. That was the whole idea. So we can now easily add the unlike fractions. Once we have the common denominator, that's all we have to do. Do not add the denominators. Just write down the common denominator and then basically do the subtraction and addition. So go from left to right. Whatever comes first, do that first. So I'm doing all my scratch work on the right side so it doesn't interfere with my actual work. Add first. We're going from left to right. Addition comes first, so we do that. So that's 59. And next comes subtraction. So I subtract a 51 and I get an 8. So that's 8 over 90. Now we can simplify this further, it looks like. So 2 has to go into 8. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 has to go into 90. Half of 90 is 45. But if that doesn't come easily, just do the long division. So you take a 90. Let's do it on this side. So it's 2 4s are 8. Subtract. Bring the 1 down. 2 times 5 is 10. And you get a 0 remainder. So this is equal to, we cancel the common factors. The final answer is 4 over 45. No common factors at all between 4 and 45. So all the work is shown clearly here. Make sure you put equal to signs and you go down this way. Okay, so that way there's no confusion. Anything else you can check on the right. You can check if you want to double check your answers at the end. Writing everything down neatly is a good idea, so you can go back and check your work. Okay, 8, 10, and 12. So I'm going to do the prime factorization method. 8 is 2 times 2 times 2, so that's 2 cubed. 10 is 2 times 5. 2 to the 1 times 5 to the 1. 12 is 4 times 3. 4 is 2 squared times 3 to the 1. So do this carefully and make sure that you've factored these numbers completely. At the end, what do? We pick the largest of the 2's, which is 2 cubed. And we pick the largest of the 3's, which is a 3 to the 1, and pick the largest of the 5's, which is 5 to the 1. So that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. So let's see, 5 and 2 make a 10. 3 2's are 6, 6 2's are 12. 12 times 10, 120. If you see a 5, just see if you can make a 10 because multiplication with the rest becomes easy. It's just a matter of adding a 0. So what I get is 120. So now we go 5 over 8. The question is 8 times what is 120? So 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 is 120 for sure. These three numbers together make an 8. Now whatever is left is 15. So 8 times 15 is 120 plus 3 over and 120. Now if you had to break this in terms of 10 times what? So 12 times 10, that one is easier because it ends with a 0. So 12 times 10. So we already have a 10 here. Now if we multiply the numerator and denominator with 12, we have a denominator of 120 plus, or rather minus. 12 times 10 is 120. So multiply the numerator and denominator with a 10. Now simplify it. 15 times 5, 5 5s are 25, 5 1s are 5, 6, 7. We know the denominator is 120, we don't need to check. Plus 12 3s are 36, divided by 120, minus 10 divided by 120. Go from left to right. Whatever comes first, do that first. We're going to add and subtract. So 75 plus 36 minus 10. So let's do the work on this side. 75 plus 36. 6 plus 5 is 11. And another 11. 111. Minus 10. 1 minus 0 is 1, 0. So this is 1, 0, 1 divided by 12.